Hey, everybody. Good evening. It's Ellen Lewis from Crazy for You, and I am so excited tonight to share with you the 3 new yarns from Noro. So, how many of you are Noro fans already? Tell me in the comments if you love Noro, or if you're new to Noro, and if you love Noro, tell me what your favorite yarn is and anything that you might maybe made with it, or what your favorite yarn is from, whether it's a current yarn or not. I'll share with you what my favorite yarn is also. So I sent out an email earlier today asking some of my customers, are you a Noro lover or a Noro hater? It was just a real quick email to sort of gauge where everybody was. And it was so interesting. A lot of people, of course, I have my dedicated Noro fans. They absolutely love Noro. And then a lot of people said, I'm really intrigued by the color. I love the color, but I don't love the feel. So if that's you, stay tuned because we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how Noro changes when you do one simple thing to it. So Noro lover, yay. Hi, Judy. How are you? Hi, Gwen. Oh, so nice to see you. And yes, Noro lover. So I got to figure, if you're showing up here tonight, you're a Noro lover. Anybody new? Anybody never been before? Hi, Eveline. Yes, you're a convert, aren't you? Yes, Gwen's right up there with me, Noro addict. Yeah, I heard before I carried Noro in the shop, I think maybe one season I'd been in business and I hadn't gotten around to it. And one of my reps, who wasn't a Noro rep, said, I am a Noro addict, and if you carry it in the store, I will buy it. I remember that. So it wasn't too long after that Jay showed up with a whole pile of Noro, and so began my long lust affair with Noro. So, hi, everybody. Hi, Anne. Hi, Claudia, Karen. So nice to see everybody here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited. So I won't make you wait any longer. Let's get started. So the first yarn that I want to share with you, and this one actually is in the store. It arrived a couple weeks ago, and I haven't put it out yet because I did want to sort of announce it kind of tonight. Hi, Jill. Hi, Amelia. Sarah. Hi, everybody. Hey, Jilda. Jilda's, if you haven't met Jilda, she is a fabulous ball that is at a lot of Noro events, and she makes it's a party wherever Jilda goes. So I'm super happy that she's here. Anyway, so the first yarn that I wanted to share with you is called Tsuido, and I hope that I am pronouncing that right. It is Japanese for tweed, and this is what it looks like in the skein. You see that? So it got a beautiful, generous 200-gram put up. Let me put this information up here so that you can see it. All right, so this is Tsuido. It's 100% wool, a big 350 yards in there. Oops, 200-gram skein. Let me change that. I'm sorry. Apologize. Yep. Okay. Did that come up? That didn't change. Whoops. I changed the wrong one. Oh, well. Yeah, that's 200 grams. Here we go. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. So that is Tsuido. And I did, so the ball band says size 8 to 10 needle, right? Yeah, so US 8 to US 10 needle. So I went right in the middle and I cast on with a 9. And it was, it's nice to knit with. It's not the softest yarn in the world, I'll tell you that. It reminds me a lot of, I don't know if any of you remember Debbie Bliss Donegal tweed. So it feels a lot like that. It is a very, very traditional tweed kind of 100% wool yarn. So, but I knit up this giant swatch. Let me see if I can get this particular to show, not that, this. Okay, I'm going to show. All right. So this is the swatch that I knit up on the size 9 needles. And it comes in at right about exactly 4 stitches to the inch, 16 stitches in 4 inches. And I think it's really pretty at this gauge. And I'll show you also the gauge, the swatch that I just finished. So this is one that I did in a very traditional way that I normally do. I start with a smallish needle and I go to a larger needle and I keep increasing my needle size until I feel like it's probably too maybe big enough. So this was on an 8. And I can tell you knitting it at this gauge was really not any fun. It was just too tight. I mean, you could do it if you had to, but I wouldn't recommend it. And this, then I moved up to a 9, which is, as I said, what I did for the larger swatch. And here it is on a 10, which I think looks really nice. I think it looks great on a 10. And this is it on an 11. So you can see that's about 3 stitches to 4 inches. And you can see there's light through it. So it's fairly open. I think probably this yarn's ideal gauge would be, or not gauge, but needle size. Oh yeah, gauge would be probably 3.5 stitches or 3.25 stitches to 4 inches. A lot of the patterns I'm going to show you for this call for this chunky gauge at 12 stitches over 4 inches, but I think it might be happiest here. And I don't know if you can see the difference. I had hoped that you could maybe see the difference. This one on the left has been washed. I've washed it in a little eucalyptus and some warm water, and it is so nice and soft compared to the one that hasn't been washed. Completely different animal. So yeah, it's a completely different animal once you wash it. I mean, who isn't nicer after a little bath, right? So I think that's really an important thing to remember with all Noro yarns. I mean, every yarn is going to be a little nicer after a bath, but in particular, I think your Noro yarns, which are so minimally processed, they really do respond well to a nice, gentle, no rinse soak. I like eucalyptus or soak, and some warm water. And don't be afraid of warm water with wool. You know, it's going to be fine. Wool isn't going to shrink or felt because you put it in warm water. What makes yarn felt is agitation while wet or a shock in temperature. So if you take it from hot water, you put it in cold water, then it's going to felt up. So, so that is Tsuido. What do you guys think? Let's see what the comments say. Hi, Terry. Hi, B. Yes, isn't that a beautiful color? It's so lovely. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, so Gilda has knit with this also. Let me show you. I have the color card here, and I want to show this to you. So let me share my screen. And yeah, okay. I'll just share it all the way. So these are the colors that Tsuido comes in, and I think they're just beautiful. This first one is this really rich blue. And if you look at it closely, you can see that it's not just blue, but it's not only tweedy, but also kind of heathery. So in the blue, there's this sort of royal, but there's also almost a turquoise and a little bit of purple. And the pink, you can see that there's a little bit of purple in that. The green is very nice with this sort of acid tone of the tweed flex. You know, I'm not a brown girl, but I think this brown is beautiful with a kind of a yellowy melon color bit to it. And this purple, oh my gosh, where is Kaidi? Kaidi, this is your color, girl. With the purple and the turquoise and the pink. And then this red is just so beautifully classic, I think, also. So those are really nice. Oh, I have an echo. Sorry. Here, let me take this out. Is that better? No echo? Yeah. Okay. So those are pretty, and they're available now. And what I also wanted to share with you is I want to show you some of the patterns that I looked at, some of the patterns that appear in the Noro magazine for this yarn, and then also some patterns that I found on Ravelry that I thought were really nice. So let me do this. And all right. So this, of course, is the cover of the Noro. No, it isn't the cover of the Noro magazine. This is the cover of my thumbnail for the video. But this is a very pretty little shawl knit in the, the sample color of Tsuido. I think you will find that I always say that texture tends to the purl side. So when you're working with this yarn, it has such a beautiful texture on the back. Let me turn this over and you can see how pretty this is on the back side as well. Can you see that in this little picture underneath me? How those flecks, let me let that go up full screen. Do you see how that tweed, those colors really show up on the purl side? So anyway, my point here is simply that when you have a pattern that uses knit and purl, you're really playing to the texture of the yarn. So I think Tsuido's big kind of benefit is that it has this beautiful texture, these big lumps, and I'll show you later on if we have a chance, these big lumps of kind of loose unspun bit that just really add to the interest. It has this great texture and it really showcases the cable. So I think that's lovely. And this next one is also from the magazine, shown in this gorgeous shade of pink. Again, the texture of it, I think, is just lovely. They have some knit and purl design in there. And this is the last one from the Noro magazine. Also very pretty, very classic kind of jacket with this long, long hem is nice. And then some of the designs that I thought were pretty that weren't from the magazine. You know I love Julie Hoover. This is very pretty. This is called River Bend. And this is worked actually in Brooklyn Tweed Quarry, which is real close engaged to Tsuido. And I love this. And I think this would just be so beautiful because it's worked in reverse stockinette. So it would play up that texture in the Tsuido. And it has a really great high-low hem and set-in sleeves. So you know how I feel about set-in sleeves and classic construction. So I think that would be really nice. Obviously, it would be pretty in the easy bulky one by Hoki Locatelli. Again, and you could work this obviously in a reverse stockinette if you wanted to play that texture. I think that would be lovely. What else do I have up here? If you're a Heidi Kermeyer fan, this is a nice one that's worked in a bulky yarn. I can't imagine wearing a pullover this close. I don't know. Somehow something this close might be uncomfortable for me. But anyway, I think that's really pretty. And this one I think is so interesting. Again, it has a kind of a swingy hem. Very pretty. Worked in a reverse stockinette, but not reverse, a garter stitch, but they've used two different needle sizes. So I think that's really kind of fun. All right, so there's more I could show you, and I'll come back and show you those later on if I get a chance. I did want to show you the rest of the yarns. So let's do this. All right. Just me. No. All right. There we go. Hi. I'm back. Okay, so the next yarn I wanted to show you is Okunoshima. So this is Okunoshima. And I'm pretty sure Okunoshima is going to come in a twisted hank. I hate it when Noro comes in a twisted hank because you can't see the colors. You can't see that it's striping. It just looks sort of like, oh my gosh, what am I going to get? So I always like to wind up yarns that come in a twisted hank. Gilda, do you happen to know if Okunoshima is coming in a twisted hank? Have you seen that? Do you have any insight on that? Anyway, so this is a beautiful, beautiful yarn, and its superpower is that it has Angora in it. And oh my goodness, I love Angora. I love it. I love it so much. And so Angora does something really special when you wash it. So I don't have an unwashed skein of Okunoshima, but I did wash, or an unwashed swatch, but I did wash this swatch, and I want to show you this one. So let's see. Okay, so can you see this? How lovely. Oh my goodness, it is so silky and soft. It's just beautiful. The colors are really rich and vibrant, and it comes in a nice palette. Let me get that palette up, show you that too. Okay, so I actually have Okunoshima on the website for pre-order. So these are the colors that Okunoshima comes in. Aren't they just to die for? This is the color that I have swatched here. Oh, look at that one. Oh, so nice. That one too. Oh. Each one is just so, so nice. So, all right, you stop me. Yes. So, Okunoshima doesn't really reveal itself until you do wash it. And this one that I swatched, I did at 18 stitches to 4 inches on a US 8. And as you can see, its recommended gauge is 16 to 19. So that's right in its sweet spot. Just beautiful worsted gauge. Almost anything would be absolutely lovely in it. The cover design, let me bring that up for you. All those. All right. Okay. So Okunoshima, this is the design that I've kind of been featuring. I think this is lovely in that kind of pink and purple. It's just a little lace cowl. I think it's long and it's been doubled. I think that's beautiful. This is kind of fun from the Noro magazine. This makes, it's worked side to side, as you can see, so it really gives you a nice long vertical line and just this playful little arrow. I think that's what Noro, the Japanese designers do best, is they give you all this fun and playful part of the knitting. And then this one, Kanita Tully, I have met her. She's a lovely person, a lovely designer. And this whole idea of striping the Noro so that you have stripes of stripes, it's so very meta. I love that. And I think this is really pretty. Again, she's got a nice set-in sleeve here with the classic construction. This is one of my favorites. I would definitely knit this. Who's with me? Terry, nice to see you. Both of you. And let's see what else. Okay, yeah, this is pretty. Cabled wrap. So a lot of people shy away from Noro in pattern stitches because they've heard that pattern stitches don't show up in variegated yarns. And I kind of want to talk to that in a minute. It's a cute little hat. That looks like a 1 or a 2 skein thing. What does it say? Yeah, 1 skein. That's a beautiful little 1 skein hat project. And that's in the magazine. So if you get the magazine, you have tons of patterns for you. And then, of course, it would be stunning in Andrea Mowry's Weekender. So it would take advantage. This also has very nice texture on the pearl side. So it would be very pretty in that as well. So what I wanted to say about using Noro for lace or cables or anything else, I know we've always heard that you shouldn't use variegated yarns for complicated stitch patterns because they don't the pattern doesn't show up in the yarn. But I really believe that Noro doesn't count as a truly variegated yarn. It's a long color repeat, but it doesn't have like the busyness that you associated with like a hand-dyed or a hand paint. You're only ever seeing one color at a time because you have these bands of color. So it doesn't really distract from the stitch pattern like a variegated or hand-dyed would. So don't be afraid of using Noro in a pattern that has a lot of stitch work or a stitch pattern, a pattern that has pattern. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's important to remember. So I love that. This reminds me, does anybody remember the Noro yarn Cocheron? Oh, beautiful. Lots and lots of Angora. This has less Angora than Cocheron, but it does have enough to give it that beautiful, beautiful soft halo around it. Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. All right. And so the last yarn that I want to share with you, and of course I save the best for last, is called Miyabi. And Miyabi is a blend of wool and cashmere. So this is Miyabi. And I think this is going to also be put up in a twisted hank. I don't know for sure. Again, Gilda, I would be looking for any input or insight you have on that. Okunosima is coming as a mini Ito with a barrel look. Okay, good. So Okunosima is going to be put up like this, but it's going to be smaller because it's, 100 grams. But I think that's nice because you still get this sense of how the colors play out. So that's good. Miyabi's coming in a hank, which is really sad because I have a picture here of the Miyabi that came to me in a hank, and it was really kind of depressing. Let's see if I can find it. Actually, it was on my Instagram today. So if you look on my Instagram page, you can see the picture of the Miyabi in the kind of the hank structure that I don't think really shows Noro off to its best advantage. You have to kind of really be trusting with it. But anyway, this is what it looks like when it is wound, and it just has a beautiful hand with all of that cashmere in there. It's so lovely. And I knit this up. And let me just say this. I know what you're all thinking. You're all looking at and you're thinking, it looks kind of brown. I hear you. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, it looks kind of brown. I'm not a big brown girl. But so I always say that knitting with Noro is like mining for precious gems, or working in the garden and finding these incredible flowers. There's a whole lot of stuff you kind of have to sift through. But let me just show you what it looks like when it's knit up. I think you're going to be shocked. All right. So much technology. I'm really struggling with this here, people. Not that. That. Yeah. Okay. So this is Miyabi knit up. How gorgeous is that? Isn't that just beautiful? Who likes that? Tell me in the comments if you like the Miyabi knit up. And also be honest. Tell me if you looked at the Miyabi when I held it up and thought, I don't kind of like that. Be honest. Yeah. Okay. So Gilda assures me that it's going to be lots better when it comes in. Yeah, do you like it, Gwen? Did you like it when I first showed it to you? So anyway, this also has had a little bath, and cashmere. Oh, cashmere loves a bath. So I always try to give my swatches a little bath. They just there's something about the water that the fibers absorb the water and they just kind of relax, and any sort of halo or softness that you get from the luxury fibers that are in there, whether they're cashmere or mohair or angora, they just really kind of begin to take center stage when they've had a little bath. Oh, Terry says it looks like fall leaves. It does, doesn't it? I was shocked at how much I liked this yarn when I knit it up, because I wasn't sure. I mean, I knew I would like it okay, but I didn't think I would be like, oh my gosh, I love this. So I can't stop looking at it. Let me show you the back side too, because I think the pearl side on this is also beautiful, because there's a slight thick and thin with the Miyabi. You can see where the little bits kind of come out. So this probably would be even more perfect for the weekender, which makes use of reverse stockinette. Again, remember that texture tends to the pearl side. Does everybody know what I mean by that? If you have a texture in a yarn, you're going to see more of it on the pearl side than you will on the knit side. So if you have a yarn with a really great texture and you want to showcase it, make sure that you have pearl stitches on the front, which means work it either in reverse stockinette or garter or seed stitch, so that you can really highlight all that beautiful texture in there, because it's not just about the color. I mean, I think the texture is super important, as we see from Tsuido. Yeah. So it's not a super long color run, as you can tell, because this is a small, I keep wanting to pick this up and show you, but I can show you. It is a small swatch, and you do get a good sense of the color. And the colors, and as you point out, it's not a long color run, and they're blended probably a little better. So the color shift is more subtle than it would be in some of the other Noro yarns. But it is truly a luxurious yarn. And I will point out that in just 100 grams, it has 275 yards, because cashmere is light. So I think that's pretty good yardage for 100 gram skein. So you could definitely use this. I think I need a weekender in this, or maybe something by Julie Hoover, or maybe that striped pullover by Kanita Tully. Oh, let me show you the patterns from the magazine. And anybody have any thoughts? Yeah, much prettier knit. Yeah, so nice. All right, let me bring this up. Okay, so this is this is a brioche shawl worked in the Miyabi. So you can really see the color shift here, and do you see that? It's very lovely. And that's worked in the Miyabi. That's going to take, I think that takes 4 skeins. Yeah. All right. And then this cute little hat in the Miyabi. And this vest. I like this. I love things that play up an angle. I think they're so flattering. Isn't that pretty? And this. If you all are planning on joining me next week when we have Trisha Malcolm doing the trend review you'll see that vests are having a moment this fall. So I love the idea of this beautiful vest in the Miyabi. So let me see if I can also find the yeah, here we go. Here's the Miyabi color card. So very pretty colors. Again, the very subtle color shift. It looks like the color that, oh, they did. Let's see, color 8. So this color 8 is the color that I actually swatched. And I don't know that that these little dots really give you the enough information. But when it goes on the website, I'll have a full photograph of both the side view and the top view, and then the knit view, as I typically do. So, all right. Well, what are your thoughts, everybody? Do you like them? What do you think? Which one is your favorite? Don't let me bias you, because it's like a child. You can't really have one favorite, can you? But what's your favorite today? Do tell me. Ooh, Amelia likes vests. Okay, so did you see the colors of the Miyabi, Sarah? These are the colors of the Miyabi. There's kind of a blue purple, kind of a purpley rose brown, a neutral. This is the kind of green and brown, that beige. This has been a very popular colorway in Silk Garden. We have that. And then this is sort of blackish and brown and red. Again, look on the website. I will have these up for you to see soon. I won't have a picture of the actual skeins until they come in and I can photograph the skeins, but I'll have a better picture of the knitted sections. So that will be up there. Should be this week. Should be by Friday. And absolutely, you can pre-order if you would like some of this. If you don't have the Noro magazine, go ahead and order that. That's on the website. So let's see. What are the prices? Oh, I knew you were going to ask that. So the Okunosima is $30 a skein. I cannot remember offhand. Gilda, what is the cost of the different yarns? What's the Miyabi here? I don't have it. Yeah, well, Miyabi, I'll tell you what, is pricey. I remember when I was ordering it thinking, so it's pricey, but I do think it goes kind of a long way. And it's really one of those things that if you just wanted to get one or two skeins and make something that was really luxurious that you could wear right next to your skin. Okay, so the Miyabi is 40. And the Okunoshima is 30, and the Tsuido, do you remember? B likes the okay one. Yeah, I like that one too. Because Angora, I mean, oh my gosh, Angora, it's just lovely. And a lot of times Angora, if you can get a cheapish Angora and you'll see a lot of the guard hairs in it. You do not see any guard hairs in this. Let me bring this up and show you. There are no guard hairs sticking out. There's no prickle on this. It's just beautiful. Just a lovely halo. Oh, it's so nice. Yeah. All right. Okay, so those are the prices. Do you happen to remember what this Tsuido is, Gilda? God, I'm glad you're here, hon. I rarely talk prices on these kinds of things, but since you asked, they really are. They're all so beautiful. And being that Miyabi and Okunoshima are both simply worsted weight, they're so versatile. You can use them for almost anything. And I saw a pattern up on Ravelry that I thought would be really pretty in the Tsuido. It's a very open gauge. I think that one by Julie Hoover is knit on 13s and 15s. And I would encourage you, if you like that, and I think I might have to knit that myself. It really is appealing. I'm going to swatch it on the 13s and the 15s, and then I'm going to wash it. Because what happens is if you knit something and you feel like it's really kind of too loose, when you wash it, again, the fibers bloom and they open up and they kind of fill that space. So it doesn't end up being as loose as it seemed when it came right off your needles. I can tell you that this one right off my needles is a completely different animal than this one that's been washed. Completely different animal. I mean, yeah, no comparison at all. Yeah, I think they are definitely. It's okay, Gilda. It's fine. No worries. I don't mean to put you on the spot, sweetie. Um, but yeah, I do think, yeah, Tsuido is also 40, but there's a big chunk. So most of the ones that are put up in the 200-gram skeins. So that's pretty standard. Don't forget that there is also Obi, which has brand new colors this season. I ordered those. They're stunning. Obi is kind of like Kurion, only it's put up in a 200-gram, they call this a barrel, the 200-gram barrel, and there are 36 different colors in each skein, and it is absolutely stunning. And that is on the website, and you can order that. And it is the yarn that is used on the cover. Let me grab it. On the cover of Noro. So this gorgeous, gorgeous mitered jacket, which I absolutely love, and I really want to knit. So yeah, so if you haven't got the magazine, go ahead and get the magazine. Tell me what you like. If there's a project you want to do, let me know and I will hook you up and you can pre-order it. And I've run over my time again. I'm sorry, but thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been absolutely, oh, thank you, Ito. Yes, Ito, not Obi. Obi is a completely different yarn that they don't make anymore, but I did like that. Ito is the Kurion put up in the barrel with 32 different colors in it. Oh my goodness, someone should smack me. I think Gilda just did, actually. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you these Wednesday nights. I really do enjoy sharing the yarn with you. I know that you love Noro, so please order some. Please let me know what you like. And we will be back next month with another big Noro trunk show. And it will be lots of fun. Next week is Rowan with Trisha Malcolm. And that will be lots of fun too. So we will see you soon. And until next time, keep knitting.